Hey guys, it's Alex. Today I wanted to bring you a story of something that happened 3 or 4 months ago. 3 or 4 months? Yeah, 2 or 3, 3 or 4. Where I went out with a girl, 3 or 4 times, but it didn't work out subsequently. So I didn't really mention it because the story wasn't really relevant. But now that I am meeting more and more women that want children, and I'm talking women 35 and up. I know there are some channels out there that love to review my channel. Women, older, 50-year-old women saying that I don't know what I'm talking about. Put yourself in my shoes. You'd be blown away at the amount of women 35 and up with a child that still make it a stipulation that you must have a kid with them. If not, you do not even meet. So this girl was a Colombian woman, 38, 39 years old, something like that. And, I love talking about previous relationships. I know a lot of you guys don't want to mention the exes. You don't want to mention what happened before you for fear of, I don't know, something that might have happened with them that you can't live up to. I went out with a girl not too long ago that said, oh, my ex had a massive dick. Now, I laughed at that. I don't get defensive. My dick's fine. So I'm like, so why didn't you stay with him? He's a bad guy. Okay, so a big dick doesn't override his bad attitude? She's like, no. But you know what that did to me? It made me go, why'd you mention his dick? Imagine me, ladies, going out with you, and we're on a first date, and I say, oh yeah, my ex, she was a nice girl, had a massive rack on her, a lot of rack on her, but she was a bad girl. And you're gonna go, what are you doing? Right? I thought it was kind of funny, but anyway, not this girl. This girl was an adult. She understood you don't mention dicks and body parts when you're dating somebody. You just get to know the person. So she had a child. She was a single mother. The child was about 3 or 4 years old, 4 to 5 years old, a little older. And obviously her and her ex had broken up and they have shared custody. So I asked her about previous relationship, and she goes, well, he was on board. He was immediately on board with having a child, so that's why I went out with him. And then she, on her own, mentioned my previous relationship before the father of the child. It was a wonderful relationship. He was a great man, had a good career, super awesome guy, treated me like a queen, thought I was the center of the universe, but he didn't want to have a kid. I could not help myself to become like psychiatrist Alex. I said, wait a minute. Because, I don't mind, talking. I do like to communicate a decent amount, more than most men. So I said, wait a minute. Your 2 boyfriends ago, or, your ex before your ex, was a great man, was a nice guy, treated you well, had a career. You liked each other. Did you guys have a good sex life? She goes, oh yeah, it was amazing. And why did you break up? Well, he didn't want to have a kid. So I said, you gave up a wonderful man in order to have a child? Now, obviously, I'm not a woman, so I don't understand the absolute definite need to procreate. I don't understand it. You cannot expect me to understand it. I'm a guy. Just like you can't understand how me being a guy makes me want to have sex with everything. I know why. I'm genetically predisposed to that. Are women genetically predisposed to have kids? Maybe. Yeah, sure. But she gave up a good man. Like an excellent man, according to her. I don't know the guy. I gave up a great man in order to have a child. I was mind blown by that. Absolutely. Ladies, if you're single out there, right? And you had to do it all over again. And if you really had to talk with yourself, I understand you look at your kid and you don't want to feel like he is a, mistake, or if you had to do it all over again, would you have a child with a man you broke up with? Or if you had a wonderful relationship with a man that was just awesome, but you didn't want to have a kid. You couldn't be fulfilled. So back to her story. She now is a single mom because the guy that wanted to have a child with her was not that great of a guy. It's kind of an asshole, according to her. And then, after, her son was born, shared custody took place. Now the boy appreciates dad way more than he appreciates mom. Why? Because he's a boy. Imagine if I had a boy, I'd do guy shit. Fishing, work on the cars, rough house, boy stuff. And when he goes home to her, apparently, because I never met him, because we only went on 3 or 4 dates. I guess when he goes home to her, you could tell he misses dad. He talks about that. So she must be, she told me she feels a little hurt by that. Now, I am not saying that's what she should have gotten because of the bad decision she made with her boyfriend 2 boyfriends ago. That was a wonderful man, according to her. But I kind of think that's a good example of what can happen if you choose, I don't want to say wrong, but if you let go of something wonderful for a not so sure thing. Everyone thinks that once they have a kid, it's going to be the best, most wonderful, greatest experience on the planet, and the kid's going to be awesome. Now, if you're a shitty parent or a shitty person or makes bad decisions, I can almost guarantee that kid might not have the best shot at making it in a normal capacity, right? If you have a fucked up parent, fucked up situation, some kids plow through that and they come out pretty good. But if you have two awesome parents that get along and love each other and produce a child, that child has a better shot. But this woman, for whatever reason, said she gave up the love of her life, according to her, the love of her life, she dropped it all in order to have a child, which now that child loves dad that she's not with anymore, more than she loves him. And I know a lot of you women that are mothers are going to say, well, that's just now. I understand. But what she's going through right now, I wouldn't wish on anybody. I did ask her, believe it or not, I did ask her, why didn't you reach out to the ex 2 exes ago after you had your kid to see if you could rekindle something? She said he didn't want to have any part of raising my kid. Now, a lot of you women might go, well, that's not a real man. And I go, I get it. If my ex came up to me and said, I want to work it out with you, I would think about it, but man, that's going to be tough because she has a kid with the guy she ended up going out with after me. So I'm like, I'm going to see this kid all the time. And again, it's not the kid's fault, but I'm going to see this kid all the time and have to realize that is the baby of the other dude. And I have to, if he does something stupid, if he has a weird trait that I don't like, I'm just going to not be in the right mindset. I'm going to go, hey, that ain't my kid, But that sounds bad. So, the amount of ass kissing that would have to happen, because I'm in the driver's seat. At that point, if a situation like that ever came up, where they were like, hey, I want to work it out with you, because it didn't work out with baby daddy, and I fucked up with you, and I just fucked up. But now I have a kid, and I understand, man, I'm going to make her work for it. I am going to make her work. But I don't even think that's even going to happen. Knowing the person, that's not even in the cards. I just don't think it's even in the cards. But it was an interesting talking point or situation that happened with her where she dumped the love of her life in order to have a child, and now the child identifies a lot more with the father than it does with her, and you can tell it hurts her, and there's almost a bit of regret. Now, I have met maybe 1 or 2 women in my life that will answer this question honestly. If you had to do it all over again, would you not have a child? Again, it all over again, would you not have a child? Most say the same thing. I love my child. I didn't ask you that question. I know you love your child. If you had to do it, get yourself out of the situation, put yourself away from it. If you had to do it all over again, would you have a child? And 2 girls that I know said, absolutely not. The child ruined my body, took away my independence, and my lifestyle changed so much that I am not a happy person. But I do love my child very much. But if I had to do it all over again, I will not have a child until my 30s, well into her 30s, which I thought was even crazy too, because I'm like, 30s. So, it's an interesting subject to talk about. Guys, if you have a girl out there, or if you know a girl, if you have a girlfriend, ask her that question. If she's at that proper age of wanting to have a kid, late 20s, early 30s, that's when things start to pop off. Ask her, would you give up the love of your life for a child? Because Chris Rock did say, women do not have unconditional love except only for their child. And I'm not okay with that on my end. Meaning, if I'm not going to be priority to them just like they are priority to me, I'd rather dip out. If I was with a girl that didn't have a kid, and all of a sudden in the middle of the relationship, she wanted to have a kid, and I say no, and she's like, well, we got to break up. It wasn't meant to be, but I know what's going to happen. She's going to have a kid just for having a kid, and her life is going to change drastically, as opposed to living a good life with someone they love. It's kind of a mind-blowing subject. I know I've talked a lot lately about the kid situation, but I'm telling you, it comes up every single time. And I date all age ranges, 25 to 30, 30 to 35, 35 to 40. I've even dated a 50-year-old. She was pretty freaking hot. And it's still a point of contention, the kid subject. So just thought I'd share a little story with you guys. Hopefully you guys can take my experiences and use it in your own dating world. Thanks for listening. Talk to you later.